Hi everybody, this is Patty the Tinkerer's wife here in my kitchen at Tinkerer's Paradise. It is Thursday and I have a video today for you on seeds, and in particular one particular kind of seed. I wanted to focus in on this one because it's one that almost everybody plants, and there's a couple of different ways you can do it. Actually probably about 3 different ways, maybe 4. And I wanted to just share a little bit about how I do it and also give you some basics if you don't want to go the full on thing that I do. Anyway, thank you, new people who are showing up for the first time and checking out the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. And I really appreciate all the time that you guys spend here, everybody, new people included. I know your time is valuable. So I hope to be giving you information that's valuable that you can use for your home and your homestead, whatever you choose to call it, whether you just have an apartment or whether you live on a farm. I'm hoping that you will find something here that you can use. I'm a plant nerd by nature. I'm a very nerdy girl. I am so amused and curious about how things work. And one of the reasons I do these particular seeds that I'm going to share with you about, the way I do is because I'm so flippin' curious. And I think it's wonderful to take a look and see what happens with things, because we learn a lot, we get to see a lot of wonder in how this creation is made and how seeds work, how plants work, and it helps us to grow them better, quite honestly. Anyway, the seeds I'm talking about today are pea seeds. These in particular are the Oregon Sugar Pod 2. Now these are some of my favorites. They make a nice pea pod, and they can even be eaten when the pea pods are filling up, when those seeds are getting full. I'm going to try and get this down here. I've got a new setup here, so I'm going to try and drop this down. Excuse me while I get my hands in the way. May not get it all the way down there. Oh, it's not going to work. Not that way. What did I do? There we go. Okay, now we're getting it. All right. Thank you for your patience. So these, come on, there we go. Are we focusing? Yep, there we are. Okay, these are the pea seeds. This one is a dud. You see that one? It's a dud. That little guy right there. See the difference between him and him? Little, fat and juicy. Little, nothing growing out of it, fat and juicy with a pigtail. Well, that little pigtail is actually the first root. It's called a cotyledon root, for those of you that want to sound smart. Actually, that's really what it's called. And it will grow and split, open like this one has already. Anyhow, these will grow into this paper if I left them here. I'm not going to give them a chance. I'm going to take these outside, drill some holes in the area that I want to sow these, and sow them directly as pre-germinated seeds. And the reason I do that is because I avoid planting duds. And I can see which ones are strong and growing and happy, and that kind of thing. Now, you just kind of want to be careful that you don't knock that little root around too much, because you can cause it to fall off if you goof around with it too much. Oh, another thing I was going to show you is the little sheath that comes. You see that little sheath there? And then I had this weird thing happen. Yeah, like I said, I'm a nerd, right? This is a little piece. I don't know if you can see that or not. A little tiny piece. Guess we can't really get the light on it too well. And it has a little root on it. I don't know what that's about. It's weird. But I'm not going to try and plant it. It just was kind of an anomaly. Like I said, I'm a nerd. I look at everything and it's all just awesome to me. But let me get back to this paper towel. What I do is I soak these. I need to go back. Let me digress back here. You get your seeds. You count out the number of seeds you want to germinate. Put them in warm water for 6 to 8 hours. You'll see them swell up. That's all they need to do is swell up. You pick out the duds like this one. This one's not worth even trying. It's going to go into the compost. And then for me, now at that point you can plant them outside. That's perfectly fine. They'll germinate. It'll just take them a little longer to get going. With this, because I germinated them and got them going a little bit earlier inside, they'll go faster outside. And I put this paper towel down on a piece of like saran wrap or something like that, got it wet, then put another piece over the top of it, and then sealed the whole thing up so that it didn't dry out. This has been less than 48 hours ago that I did this. Probably more like 36 hours. And that's the kind of growth I've got. And one of these, I mean, a couple of them are like, get me in the ground now. So it's really kind of fun to watch and see how they do. And if you ever wondered why, if you're ever curious as to what it looks like underground, this is what it looks like, except for you don't have soil around it, obviously. You don't have to worry so much about touching the tip of that root, because when it goes through the soil, it touches all kinds of stuff when it's going through the soil. You just don't want to be rough with them. Just be gentle with them. Anyway, if that root goes down and secures itself into this paper towel, I don't recommend trying to pull it out. You will break the root off. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to take it and very carefully just cut around it. Just get a pair of scissors and cut around it. I would remove all of these that are not rooting yet and set them aside somewhere, and just cut the ones out that are digging into this paper towel. That's the safest way to separate them from the big piece. And then you can plant them with that little tiny piece of paper towel on it. It isn't going to hurt anything because they're growing right through it anyway. Anyhow, that's the deal with sweet pea seeds. Or these, actually, you can do it with sweet pea seeds. You can do it with all kinds of seeds. I'm going to bring you back up here. Now that I kind of sort of know what I'm doing? I don't think so. There we go. Sorry. Getting to know all of the tools and techniques and stuff in doing YouTube videos is challenging. It's fun. It's humiliating sometimes. It's like, oh, I should have done that. I should have figured that out before I started. And I thought I did have that figured out, how to move the camera up and down. And now I kind of know better because I did it in front of everybody. So anyhow, also I wanted to check in with you and see how you guys are getting along. I know that I know for myself it's very challenging, and everything that was normal is no longer normal. And we try to keep what we can normal, but there's still a lot that isn't normal. We can't socialize like we normally did. Going to the store is even not normal anymore because we have to have that social distancing. Trying to get a prescription if you're an older person, like I'm going to be 64. April, I'll be 64. And so I'm trying to be careful about the amount of time I spend in public. And my local store does not have a drive up or drive through pharmacy. I have to drive several miles to get one. So yesterday morning I went, and thankfully there was not hardly anybody around. There was just a bunch of people about my age waiting in line, and we were all 6 feet apart. So I think we're all good there, and 2/3 of them had masks on, and that's just as well too. So, but I had gloves so I could protect my hands because I have to deal with my keys and money and all that kind of stuff, and I just, don't like carrying things home. When I got home, I got alcohol spray bottle, and I sprayed everything down and wiped things down I hadn't wiped down in a while, and, kind of did some cleaning in it, and it was good. It was good. But I know it can be a scary time. And one other thing I wanted to say was, this is really a time when we're grieving too. And I don't think that we maybe are recognizing it. I was listening to one of the guys on the Vlog Brothers last night, and I'm not sure if it was his video from the 20th or what it was, but he was talking about the illness that he suffers and trying to find his new normal and everything. And he realized that everything that was changing was a point of grief. And so as I am here in my house alone, 7 months after my husband passing, and everything that I thought was going to happen in the next few months is kind of tossed up in the air. I have no idea what's going to happen. How am I going to sell all of the things that I need to sell? And then when I wanted to sell the house, that's probably going to get pushed out too. So my plans are completely up in the air. And it has caused me, and honestly, I'll just confess this, I have had anxiety attacks and a panic attack. Um, I I never have had a problem with those before. But there is so much upheaval in my life in particular. I'm sure that maybe some of you may be going through this too. If you have a sick relative that you can't see because they're sequestered into a facility that maybe you can't even look into the windows. Oh, Lord have mercy. I hope not. That has got to be horrible. And for your loved one who's in that facility, God help them. I couldn't imagine. I'm sitting here alone. I can get outside and I can wave at people, wave at the neighbors, or say hi to somebody walking by. But I'm not stuck in a hospital bed somewhere where I can't see loved ones. So there's a lot of people that are grieving. We all are having a hard time. And I was thinking about this because as a grieving widow, I have a hard time sometimes. Early on, I had a hard time reaching out and just saying, hey, you got time to talk or something like that. Or, asking for support, for prayer, for just that time of talking to people, because it's amazing how hearing a voice over the phone makes such a huge difference. We're in a generation where people like to text a lot, and I'm gonna challenge you. The next time you think you want to text somebody, get on the phone and call them. Literally, I'm not kidding. I think this is going to help a lot of people be encouraged. We are connected with one another, and just seeing a text, there's just not that connection there. So I'm going to challenge you to get on the phone and call people that you love, that you care about. And for those of you who are single and alone, I'm going to challenge you, get out of yourself and think about somebody else. Think about maybe a neighbor who's a shut-in, or maybe family members. You've got a family group in your family that has a large number of children. They have got to be going through the ringer right now. How do you keep children busy? And if they're not homeschoolers, it's going to be a real challenge for them. And people have lost jobs. What they say, like 33,000, I think the number was, just this week. And so, it's rather tumultuous time. Not rather, it is a tumultuous time. We are being tested, and we are being challenged to come out of our comfort zone, because we have been, quite honestly, quite comfortable, most of us in this United States. And so remember your neighbor. I think that's one of the best things that you can do, and it will help lift you up. It will help lift them up, and just be a good neighbor, be a good friend. One of the things that I saw on Instagram that I'm going to share here before I get off was there's a company called, I think it's Rhinella Produce here, and they posted on their Instagram that they have frozen foods and eggs that they'll sell to the public. Now, normally they're just wholesale, but they're selling these items to the public, and they're breaking open their cases so that people can come and get what they need. So I'm planning on putting in an order, and it's not going to be a very big order unless I get other people to go on it with me, which I may call a couple people and see if they're interested, because they're frozen vegetables. They'll last for quite a while, and I can take the packaging they have, which is basically like a Ziploc bag, and take it and use my food saver, and they'll last a much longer time by drawing out that oxygen. So I may go ahead and do that. But anyhow, they were being a good neighbor, and what he said on his Instagram video was priceless, I thought. He said, God gave me a brain, and I decided I was going to use that brain and do this for my community. And also because I want to keep my workers employed. I'm going to do everything I can. What an awesome business. I love it when people in the community, businesses in the community, do those kind of things. And he got real creative with it, and I just think that's great. And you can go pick it up. It's $5 if you buy $199 worth or more, so basically $200 worth or more. It's free delivery. But normally it's like $5. $5. I can't hardly drive down to where they are for $5 in my old van. So I'm like, hey, that's a pretty good deal. But I might go down there just to see a human being and wave and say hi and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And they have PayPal too. And so I'm giving them a shout out here for those of you that are in the Portland, Oregon area. Check them out, and I'll put a link below to their website, to their Instagram, and so you can take part in it if you want to. I'll post this on my Facebook page and my Instagram too, so that you have that information wherever you connect with me. So I'm going to be heading out to the garden here between our spring showers and all of that. And I hope that you guys are doing well. I pray that you are. Remember to pray for our leaders. This is a very difficult time, and please try not to complain. They are not suited for these kind of disasters. We are better suited as a community serving one another to help than actually they are in many ways. So if they fail, remember they're only men, and they have been so divided for so long. They really need our prayers. So pray for your leaders, those of you who pray. And remember not to complain. It's not really helping anybody. It brings us all down in a time when we are already struggling. So be kind, be generous, love your neighbor, and remember to reach out. Go sow some seeds. You can grow your own. Yep, you can. And when I was out last week, I saw that places like Lowe's and even the local Fred Meyer store, which is owned by Kroger's, and some other places had garden seeds. I think some of the garden centers are closing down, but they may be doing, I'm hoping they do this where they can keep some of their employees, they can keep them employed, and people can buy maybe plant starts online or something like that. They can take over the phone orders or from a list off of their website or something. They have lots of options for getting creative. So if you're a business owner, or you know somebody who's a business owner, you might tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, I got an idea for you. And that might be a welcome thing for them, because I know that it's very troubling for businesses to have to shutter their doors for a while. And that may be the help and support you can give them. So y'all have a good day. I hope to see you in a day or two. I have another idea for a video that's going to be kind of funny and fun, I hope. It's about a personal struggle that I've had here now that I can't do everything I wanted to do. So, and I know it's one that others of you will be able to relate to. Well, anyhow, that's enough for now. I just want to thank you for spending time with me. If you would, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. Please, 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 though, like the video. That'll help a lot. And if you want to be notified when the next video comes up, just hit that bell. Normally the videos are on Tuesdays, but it's been different lately. And so I try to get one up every Tuesday, but I do sometimes throw some other ones in during the week like this one. Anyhow, thanks again for watching, and God bless you all. May you stay healthy, and thanks. Bye-bye.